What do you think of door 5? I don't know yet. We just barely started, I think. Cause this just a mensch. This has to be it. I know a servant and master don't usually eat at the same table, but even so, you could be a little less obvious about it. Am I really that much of a nuisance? I'm not doing anything inappropriate, am I? I'm being a pleasant and sociable, aren't I? I haven't given him any reason not to like me, I think. I hope. He had never been very enthusiastic about my staying here. But I hadn't been given a choice. I had been sent here by his family. Besides, no, I'm with the negative thoughts. Gotta stay positive. Yeah, he hasn't tried to chase me out yet. I just haven't broken the ice. I had to stay positive, optimistic, happy thoughts, and be myself. As long as I kept working at it with enough time, Michael would surely come around and not be so distant. I've got a goal, so let's get to work. First I make supper, then I ask him to have it with me. Gotta be proactive when it comes to the reclusive types. Alright, here goes. Or here would go, but we're almost out of supplies. Well, so much for that. The cellar where the non-perishable food was stored. Dried food, smoked meats, cheeses, and a small scatting of root vegetables. Looking at this makes me feel like a soldier holding down a castle's fortifications. Had Michael really gone 10 years on nothing but this? I would have raised a white flag long ago. Said he hadn't left the mansion in those 10 years. I assume he goes out to get supplies, right? Running out of food is kind of a life or death matter. I can't believe he hasn't set foot outside even once, and what are you babbling on about? What? Oh no, he overheard me. I assume you were talking to someone. Huh? Does anyone else live here, Master? I haven't seen anyone. It's just the two of us. Alive anyway. And there are ghosts. Something of the sort. There you go again with the jokes. I'm not a child. You're not gonna trick me like that. There are adults who believe in such things. I suppose. But I don't really believe in ghosts or demons or curses or any of that. The church just tries to convince people they're real so they can squeeze more money out of them. Based. Am I going to have to turn you over to the church, you blasphemer? No. I pray every day, be honest. I don't particularly care either way. I'm returning to my chambers. Well, already? You didn't come down for food? I only came down because I heard voices. A moment, please just wait a second. What? Our stores are almost empty. What normally do you do when you need more food? I'll happily accompany you on a trip to the market. Already? That was fast. There are two of us. I really don't eat that much, do I? In the dim light, it was difficult to make out Michael's expression, but I thought I could see a tinge of annoyance on his face. Hold your ground, Giselle. You said you want to get closer to him. Is that a parsnip? Michael's holding a tangled ball of roots. The reason I asked because the parsnip looked like it was on the verge of total decomposition. So, see, there's still food. He then handed it to me. Wait, you want to eat that? It's seen better days. You're gonna get sick. You're telling me you can thrive on rotten vegetables. Of course I won't eat it. I just figured you were hard enough to survive. What do you think I am? No, he definitely is a jerk. Or that resulting diarrhea might reduce your appetite. You're kidding, Ray. You can't be serious. Anyway, you should bury that outside. I can go purchase for supplies. I told you I don't go outside. How do you... I'm a visitor? Who could it be? Perfect timing. You're a servant. Make yourself useful and go retrieve the package. It's not a delivery, but a wanderer. Chase them all. A package, Master? Hold on a second. What are you talking about? He's gone. What kind of delivery is he expecting? Michael stood there unmoving, veiled in shadow. He glanced over at me, then threw his gaze to the front door. At his command, I raised the bar, pulling open the door. After nearly 2 weeks inside, the light from the setting sun almost blinded me. The world went white, my head pounding. After a few moments of intense blinking, my eyes acclimated themselves to the evening sunlight. There was no one outside, only a crate easily large enough to fit a child. Is this the package, Master? I turned back to face Michael, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. Though he seemed more like he was avoiding looking at the light other than me. Walking outside you like. He's starting to seem more and more like a vampire. Not that I believe in vampires, of course. Regardless, I pray there's nothing bad in here. Oh, that's heavy. Master, could I get some help? Gee, dang. I am a servant, admittedly. It was just a lot to ask of just one girl. A little help would be nice. Once it's inside, close and bar the door, he said dispassionately, his head still turned towards the darkness. As you wish, Master. Once the door was shut, I found myself sucked back into a world of darkness. Hadn't even been 2 weeks, but the lack of light was beginning to become my normal. Outside the world growing farther and farther away. Being holed up in here is definitely not good for me. I should go for a walk sometime, maybe plant some flowers or vegetables. Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe I can grow that old tangle of roots into some fresh parsnip. What else do I have to plant? It'd be great if there were some flower seeds. What are you doing? Open the box now. As you wish, Master. Oh, there's food inside. Inside the box was a burlap sack filled with berries, root vegetables, and smoked meats, as well as an assortment of breads, fruits, and wine. Aside from the fruit and bread, everything else was the same as what Michael kept in the cellar. Buried beneath the burlap sack was a single book. Book a month. He really hasn't gone outside in 10 years. It appears you've begun to grasp the situation. Yeah, but why? This was delivered by someone from your housemaster, wasn't it? A servant, I assume. Why did they leave without saying anything? No one wants to talk to a cursed man. In the past, they would occasionally check in on me, but that hasn't happened recently. They think you're cursed? Alright, you don't believe in curses. Then come up with your own explanation. An excuse for them to want to stay away from me. That, for example, I killed someone, or maybe I'm insane. I couldn't. Regardless, I'm not normal. Bring the food down to the cellar, the book to the library. You are, of course, free to refuse and run back off into the woods. That's it. Alright, then you take care of that. Hey, what is it? I just noticed something else is in here. It's wrapped in cloth. What could it be? Oh, a painting. For you to hang up somewhere in the house, I presume. It's so dark, I can't see very well, but I'm sure it's... Don't touch that. What? Michael, who kept his distance from me to that point, suddenly marched over, ripped the painting from my grasp. Master? His face was twisted into a look I'd never seen him make before. Was it indignation, disgust, hatred, panic? I couldn't tell, but there was more than enough negative pressure to cause me to flinch back. Is that painting perhaps, something important? A landscape painting, he muttered under his breath, the tension melting away from his face. I was left looking at his usual blank, impenetrable expression. But his eyes were still fixated on the picture, staring at it unblinkingly. Why a landscape painting? Some kind of passive-aggressive message. It's not of anywhere nearby. Did they travel somewhere? Well, it's not of that girl, so that's an improvement. Master? Oh, you're still here. Of course I'm still here. Who do you think asked you to take care of the package? What's with you? Just running over and snatching the painting from me? You scared me. Could you maybe explain yourself? What's so special about that painting? I don't believe that's any of your business. Of course it is. You ripped it out of my hands like I was some kind of thief. I have a right to know what that was all about. Maybe an apology while you're at it. You told me to open the box, so I did. Then all of a sudden you're angry. We are not equals. Do not mistake yourself for my friend. He's being so mean. You have a right to know? You have no such thing. You don't have to be rude. Say it again, leave if you don't like it here. I never asked for you to be here. That was your wish. My wish? Are you out of your mind? I never asked for this. I never asked for this. I never wished for it. Who in their right mind would want to be sent to some house in the middle of nowhere? Who would ever want to go through that? Calm down, Giselle. Can't get angry. You're right. That is what I wanted. But I never wanted to make you mad or for us to argue like this. I should have said that before, but I really like the voice you're doing for Michael. Oh, thank you. The Michael from door 4 turned around eventually. I wonder if this guy will. The other Michael wasn't as, mean. I just wanted to get to know you better, to get closer with you. I mean, it would make things smoother for the both of us. It would make living together more enjoyable for us. Listen carefully. This is very important for you to understand. Do not try to involve yourself with me. Do not go probing around for information. And if you can't do that, leave. I completely shut out. The glare he was giving me in the standoffish aura, my heart's hurting for her, like it hurts me. He was emanating or reflected in his tone of voice. Why? Why did he try to push me away like that? Seemed as though really didn't know much about me. Despite being sent from my house, she was unaware of the monthly deliveries, as well as the reason why I lived in the mansion all by myself. Why, though, would they not have told her anything? Why had she been sent here and left completely in the dark? Jill looked up at me, fear and bewilderment in her eyes, so I could see a glint of suspicion beneath it all. Like her true feelings were bubbling to the surface. Everyone had a darkness in them and they kept hidden. No one was exactly who they appeared to be. She was undoubtedly thinking, I'm not here because I want to be. I knew from the moment I first saw her that her bubbly sweet effect was all a facade. Had she thought I was dense enough not to realize? She was no different than anyone else. What I didn't understand, though, is why she refused to leave no matter how hard I pushed. What was she hiding beneath that innocent-looking face? What was she thinking? What did she carry on her shoulders? Everyone is hiding something, deceiving those around them. I had to figure out what she really was. May I ask you something? Yes? On the day you arrived, you said you made a teeny tiny mistake while working at my family's house. Tell me about that. What did you do at the Bollinger estate? In that moment, brief though it was, her disposition wavered. Fear, terror, no, perhaps anger? I couldn't tell. Nevertheless, it was abundantly clear that this was a subject she had no interest in me breaching. So she had bore her fangs. The smile she donned was no visibly forced. It's nothing you need concern yourself with, Master. Promise, it was an insignificant little thing. She couldn't say. Why couldn't she tell me? What had she done there? What did this woman know about that house? What did she know about me? What was concealed beneath that smile of hers? I am the master of this house, and you are a servant, and you still refuse to tell me. Like I said, it's nothing. There's no reason to bother you. But the mere servant's personal blunders, Master. What are you hiding? I'm not hiding anything. Then you should be able to tell me exactly what you did at the Bollinger estate. Like I said, tell me. Tell me. You won't even tell me a thing about yourself, and yet you demand others to tell you about themselves. Here you are practically threatening me. Demanding I tell you something I don't want to talk about, and yet you still haven't told me anything about the painting. Oh, so I was right. You do have something to hide. How many times must I repeat yourself? We are not equals. I don't care if it's insignificant, or something you don't want to talk about. What? I'm ordering you to tell me. Trifling blunder would not get someone sent to live with a cursed man in a house spoken of so unfavorably. Whatever she had done in that Bollinger estate, that had something to do with why she was here. If she truly hadn't done anything, then she had something to gain from this place, or possibly from me. If that was the case, I had to get her to talk. Don't make me. Giselle's eyes were open wide. I recognized the look she was giving me. I knew very well what that gaze meant. You're an abomination. It's the same as them. Fear, contempt, revulsion, repulsion. The way she acted, the way she spoke is exactly the same. You're no different. I made her uncomfortable. I made her afraid. She thought I was unpleasant. She thought I was despicable. She thought I was an abomination. The frenzy had grabbed her by the shoulders, clamping down far more powerfully than I had meant to. Ow, stop! Her face, contorted in pain, morphed into someone else's. Who was I directing my anger at? Where was this rage being aimed? Who are you calling an abomination? What? Tell me who? The black fur bubbling up from within me knew no end. The girl, she ridiculed me. She denied my identity with her glare. I couldn't escape from that phantom, that reality. What are you? I never called you a... No, get away from me. Get your hands off me! Shell's scream echoed in the entrance hall, rattling my eardrums. She frantically smacked my arms aside, and then I came back to my senses. She was standing a little ways away, breathing heavily, arms wrapped tight around her body, glowering at me, showing her opposition to my touching her. Enlightening. No. You mustn't, startle me, that's all. Some servant you are telling your master not to touch you. Oh, right, I have a, I'm allergic to people. It's a very unique condition, I hear. I mean, can you believe that? See, how could some people get all red and itchy when they touch a dog or a cat? I get that it's not except for people, so I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I beg for your forgiveness. Why don't you just speak your mind? What? This is what's going through your mind right now. I have nothing to apologize for. No, that's not. I can somewhat sympathize with your plight, being made to apologize even though you're hurting. I raised my hand against you first, after all. Then you forgive me? Sympathy does not equate forgiveness. Now you take care of the package. I'm heading back to my chambers. What is it? You're not gonna make me leave after what I just did? No, I'm not. It would seem I can make you leave on your own whenever I so please. Besides, I had yet to learn what she had done. It would be exceedingly difficult to get the story from her own mouth, which left me with one option. To write a letter to my mother, as much as the very thought revolted me. Several days had passed since the package arrived. The end of my third week living in the mansion was drawing near. Michael wasn't getting any friendlier either. He continued to either snub or bluntly dismiss me whenever we crossed paths. I didn't understand why he acted that way around me. There is little point asking when he seemed to think there was little point in talking to me at all. Although at first I had been sure there was some way to get him to warm up to me. The more time I spent in the mansion, the more my willpower began to feel like it was at its breaking point. I could tell myself to stay positive until I was blue in the face, but it only worked for so long. The one pretty place in the whole house. Glad he hasn't covered it back up. Blue moonlight shone quietly through the stained glass window, vainly illuminating some of the room. I hadn't noticed until now, but the room with the stained glass window appeared to be modeled after a chapel. Rows of pews faced the window, which sat on what used to be a pulpit. There was very little left of it, though, and an awkward length of sliver was mounted up to the pulpit's front face, what I assume was formerly a cross. Upon further reflection, rather than facing the window, the pew seemed to be pointed at the pulpit, perhaps a cross hanging on it. I wasn't sure why there would be a chapel in a mansion, but I had no one to ask about it. For a house of this size, the statue of Christ or the Virgin Mary seems more appropriate. It's a very well-made chapel at any rate. I doubted Michael had built it for himself. There would be no reason for him to cover the window if that were the case, nor had I ever seen him come to pray. He doesn't seem like one to believe in God. I'm not even sure if God really existed, then surely the world would be a much more pleasant, peaceful place. No unfair disparities in money or power, no senseless misfortune. Certainly would have found myself here either. But God was evidently quite fond of giving mankind trials, so he would probably tell me with a straight face that this was one too, or perhaps we simply had a false impression of him, and he didn't actually give us anything. He merely sat back and watched us somewhere far away. It wasn't his job to give peace to anyone or ensure our laws were fair. That was all mankind's responsibility. What is God? What are angels? I have no idea. Maybe the Bible has answers. Why should I pray to someone so far away? How do I know my prayer's even getting there? But still, it's not like I have any other options. Don't you worry. It'll all work out, I promise. I already know where I'm going to work. It's a really prominent noble house, way out of reach of some small-time merchants like us. You never know, this could be my big break. Oh, I'm just kidding. Don't look so worried. I'll be just fine, honestly. I'll make enough money for us to get back on our feet. Oh, for goodness sakes. I can handle it. Leave everything to me. You just wait. I'll make our family into something you can be proud of. I'll be fine. Yeah, say bye to Mom for me. I probably won't be home for a while. What? You're afraid I'm gonna make some careless mistake? I'm not that airheaded. I can be a refined, elegant young lady. Those nobles won't even know what to believe anymore. If you don't believe me, how about I give you a little taste? Ahem. How are you doing this fine morning, Master? Your morning beverage is ready, prepared with the utmost of care. See? How about that? Not bad, huh? What? You really think it sounded forced? I was the daughter of a merchant who ran a shop on the capital's main street. My father had passed away in a plague, so it was just me, my mother, and my older sister. Be a lie to say business was doing well. We struggled to squeak by day to day after taxes. We just couldn't abandon the shop and leave the capital either. So we tried to make the best of what we were able to take in between the three of us. Then my sister fell in love with a moderately well-off aristocrat. My mom and I were supportive of her desire to marry. But their union almost fell apart because she was not suitable for him. Merchants were hardly the lowest class. What we lacked instead was wealth. We needed another source of money, beyond what the shop took in. If only we had money, my sister could get married. If only we had money, my mom wouldn't have to work so hard. If only we had money. It was then that someone from the distinguished Bollinger estate approached me. He said they were in need of Abigails and would love to have me. He said if I agreed to work for them, the Bollinger estate would take care of my family. Generally speaking, the noble houses took Abigails from other lower-ranked noble houses. It's unthinkable for someone of my status to receive such an offer. So I took it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance and accepted the offer. I just pray that nothing bad happens to my sister. That Mom is getting enough money to live comfortably. That's all I can do. They're nobility. They have plenty of money. Enough to spare some. The light shining through the stained glass window began to grow murky, fading into blackness. Felt like a message from on high. No, my prayers would not be answered. The bluish-white illumination shining down upon me disappeared as clouds blocked the moon. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me? Oh, for heaven's sake. I never asked to end up like this. Their nobility. They have plenty of money, enough to spare some. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me. Oh, for heaven's sake, I never asked to end up like this. So I was sitting at one of the pews in the room with the stained glass window. Just looking at her, you might have thought she was offering a prayer, but the words coming from her mouth were anything but prayerful. They are filled with resentment. They have plenty of money, a sullied woman. Then I never asked to end up like this. So that's up beneath the facade. Most likely money is what she's after. All I need to do now is confirm my suspicion with them. So what awful secrets will I uncover? I gave Giselle, sitting in the pew with her head drooped, a cursory glance before leaving the chapel. I had somewhere else to be. The bitterly cold outside air felt like dozens of needles flowing into my lungs. Been so long since I had stepped beyond the mansion's walls. Thick mist canopied the night sky, blocking out the moonlight. Naturally, the heavens did not rejoice at my leaving the house. Been 10 years since I had seen the mansion from the outside. It hadn't changed one bit. A gloomy scar upon the earth, shrouded in darkness. Hardly the kind of place someone would enthusiastically approach. Nevertheless, it was better than that house. Yes? Who is it? Michael. What? Michael Bollinger? Just one moment, I'll be right there. Come in. It's a humble abode, but make yourself at home. Wow, I must say this is rather unexpected. Just one word and I would have been up there in a heartbeat. And how was I supposed to do that? I am regrettably fresh out of carrier pigeons. Right, yes. My apologies. This man living in a small cottage not far from the mansion had been hired by the Bollinger family. His job was to watch over me. That said, we never actually interacted. He tasked keeping track with whether I was still alive and whether I remained in the mansion. The monthly package from my family was delivered to him, which then was passed on to me. I was insipidly convoluted, but indicative of how much they wanted to avoid anyone learning about me. Well then, what can I do for you? The manservant was visibly rattled, afraid too, but not because of the difference in our social ranks. I had a pretty good idea of what he had been told about me. He was afraid of me, or more specifically, my curse. You'd think Michael had a disease or something but everyone's being cool being close to him. Yeah, I don't know what it is. People fear which they cannot comprehend, not just children, adults as well. They fear demons, witches, and curses, anything impure or not of this world. I had long since gotten used to being viewed as such. It didn't sadden me, it didn't disappoint me, it didn't pain me. Some things were too foolish to concern yourself over. That certainly doesn't make me feel good either. I was on some level annoyed. The woman's appearance at the mansion had created ripples in my once tranquil life. So before I got into the real reason for my visit, I decided to take out a bit of my frustration. Raise your head, there's no need to be afraid. I don't know what you've been told, but I promise I don't bite. How rude of me. You're right, my sincerest apologies. Your job is to keep watch over me. The mere sight of me has you trembling. What will you do if I try to run? You would have little trouble escaping. It would be quite unfortunate. Whatever I ever tell your mother, I'm not sure that would end well at all. You could lose everything you've been paid so far. In fact, you might be lucky to get out with your life. Surely your mother would not. You're aware of who you're dealing with, right? Michael, the cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family, who made a pact with the devil. I don't need a blade to take your life. You wouldn't even make it back to report anything. Have mercy, Lord Michael. Please do not leave the mansion. Please spare me. Only joking. What? I don't have the power to kill away by any curse. The man fell silent, but the look on his face said, You are cursed though, aren't you? Once someone got an idea planted in their head, it's near impossible to get rid of. I'm so cursed that anyone can see it. That I need to be locked away in a dark mansion. I'm here because I had a question for you, not to warn you that I plan to run away. A question? For me? Yes. Approximately 3 weeks ago, a black-haired woman came to the mansion. Tell me what you know about her. I was told there would be an Abigail coming, but that's all. I don't know anything else about her. I have returned. Welcome back. How goes it? We're just playing some Fata. It's pretty sad. I swear that's all I know. I haven't been told anything else. I believe you. I never thought they would tell you anything. Right. He'd been hired to observe me, but that's all he was, a hired hand. He wouldn't be privy to the Bollinger family's internal affairs. Take this. A letter? I need you to deliver it to my mother. You could have just left it in the box from this month's package and I would have collected it when I dropped off the next one. I'm in urgent need of information. Will you do this for me? Yes, why absolutely yes. Fetch your delivery boy tomorrow morning. Much appreciated. Good night. You too. Do take care. Lord Michael, yes. It's true that you don't have. Would you like me to sew your mouth shut so you can never open it again? No, not at all. Sincerest apologies, Lord Michael. That was horribly disrespectful. Good night. Cursed, most certainly I am. Pretty sure you're talking about the curse, Strange. I'm gonna save here because my voice is getting really tired. Giselle and Michael, Strange. It's the, yeah, I was like, I think that's just the white-haired girl. They look similar. Oh, well, here we go back to the depressing fucking love story. Dude, whenever Michael's mean to Giselle, I get hurt because I've had people talk to me like that and I just remember and I'm like, ugh. My mother's response arrived just 10 days later. Oh yeah, so he hit up his family and he's like, yo, what's the deal with Giselle? Why did you send her here? Oops. The delivery boy must have pushed his horse quite hard. It's almost an exact month after Giselle had moved in. Pretty sure it's just gonna be that she's a witch. And shortly thereafter, on a bone-chilling night, everything came crashing down. Oh jeez. The rift between us grew deeper, and a wall between us impossibly high. When I lay bare the scars in her chest, and mercilessly plunged my knife into them. It's kind of surprisingly honest considering the sass Michael has. Oh, here we go. How did we get to this point? Ugh, I hate everything. My spirits were getting darker and darker, like they were slowly sinking to a deep morass. I'd been at the mansion for a month, and every day since felt twice as long as it should have. I'd been optimistic at first. I'd even had a little hope that me and Michael could get along together. But it hadn't taken long for that hope to be shattered, and cheer locked away inside me. We lived in the same house, but we never spoke anymore. On the few occasions we did cross paths, he just gave me a cold glare and nothing more, scorn and suspicion in his eyes. Whenever he looked at me like that, it felt as though my throat was being constricted, like I was deep underwater and running out of air, like my very presence in the world was a crime. I never could have imagined just how agonizing constant rejection was. I started despising others, despising myself, despising the world, convinced there was no one who could set me free. Considered running away from everything rather than live like this another day. But I would have done so long ago that if that were actually an option. They found out I had fled. If I had acted outside their wishes, my mom and my sister would pay. I had succeeded in allowing my sister to get married and my mom to live comfortably. I had given them happiness. I couldn't take that away from them again. Not after what I had to go through. No, cut that out. Getting way too depressing, Giselle. Pull yourself together. That's not who you are. Be positive. The negativity didn't only come from my interactions with Michael either. No, there seemed to be some kind of terrible presence within the mansion that twisted people's hearts. The mansion was in fact a bit of a local legend, which I had been informed about before being sent here. People claimed it was cursed and that an evil witch had lived in it for many, many years. Michael joked that he was the witch, but I didn't believe him. I'm not usually one to believe in magic or curses at all, but being here so long, I can't help but wonder. Anyway, is this the first door with Giselle? Yeah, this is the 5th door, I think. Also, Felix, have you filled out the straw poll? Just curious, no pressure. Things can't go on like this. If I was to remain in this house, the situation needed to improve a lot. I was gonna lose my mind if things kept up as they were. Oh no, I stepped away. Let me take a look. Oh, yay! Thank you! You can vote for up to 4. I was gonna lose. Oh, I already read that. I was ready to give up once. But I'm gonna try closing the distance between us again. If I could get him to open up even the tiniest bit. Persona 5 count as a VN though? Yeah, it's the next game. If I could get him to open up even the tiniest bit, then maybe that would make living here a little easier. I wasn't gonna try to make us best friends or anything, just repair a relationship enough that being around each other wasn't torturous. Got my work cut out for me. How do I even begin that conversation? Heck, what is that conversation even gonna be about? Maybe I should hold off, do it another day. No, made up my mind to do this, so I should get to it quickly. The longer I wait, the worse things are gonna get. And eventually there won't be any fixing anything. OMG, you got Chaos Head in here? We need to talk. Is that the right one? It's Chaos something. I know I have. Yeah, it is Chaos Head, not Child. I don't know how you'd like the MC in that one. Yeah, you can vote for up to 4. We need to talk. We need to be in the same room for more than 10 seconds, and we need to get to know each other. He needs to know that he's not the reason I have something to hide. Okay, let's do this. I made my way to Michael's chambers, which he had told me to stay away from. Takumi is, let's say, built different. My stride was slow and ponderous, but at the very least I did my best to keep some semblance of a smile on my face. This is the one time where I'd really like to have someone give me a little nudge. There is no chance she likes Takumi. Really? I wonder why. Now I'm curious. I mean, I don't too. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. Pardon, Master. Something I'd like to talk to you about, Master? I guess he's not here. But the story is good, so I handled it somehow. The door wasn't locked. As was the rest of the house, his room was shrouded in darkness. The only light came from the candle in my hand. Master, are you there, Master? Guess I missed him. It's probably best if I don't stick around for long. He's already got less than a stellar impression of me. I don't want to imagine what happens if he thinks I've been snooping through his room. Yeah, I should get out of here. I spun around my heels to take a step towards the door when I caught the sight of an object draped in a black sheet. I knew I had to get out of there quickly as possible, but I was intrigued by that object. Something he had kept hidden in a room I was forbidden to enter. It's honestly interesting how un-MC-like he is in certain ways. Maybe it was a clue to discovering his secrets. I reached my hand towards the object, knowing good and well I shouldn't. Was it because I wanted to learn more about him? Because I wanted to tear down the veil he hid behind? Or was it the whispers of the witch? Is it going to be a head? Like a decapitated head? Oh no. What do we have here? Pulled off the sheet, revealing a framed painting. He's literally one of a kind MC, it's why it's so realistic, his reaction. Let's just say you'll think of Daru and George as angels compared to Takumi. Why don't we just see how I react to it, and then we'll go from there. I pulled off the sheet, revealing a framed painting of what appeared to be a noble woman with porcelain white skin. What stood out about her, though, was that the woman's hair was as pale as her skin. And then what? I noticed something else. Wide gashes ravaged the canvas, damaging her face beyond repair. What the? I imagined it had once been a painting of a beautiful woman, but there's hardly a trace of that left. See, now I'm confused. Was the white-haired girl real? Then they said she wasn't real and she was a brown-haired girl, so what? I'm confused. The sandwich was not accidental. It was deliberate, angry, and the contempt emanating from within the frame was stifling. Thick, suffocating blackness seeped into me. Why would anyone? Surely a most beautiful woman, angelic even. Storm of questions assaulted me. I think she wasn't real personally, but watched me be wrong. Who was she? Why had her face been carved up? Why had the painting been covered? What happened? Who could have? There's only one person who could have done this. Michael, why on earth? You saw it, didn't you? You saw the painting, didn't you? Entered my room without permission, and you saw the painting, didn't you? I am angelic, you say? Something angelic about that damned woman. Scrambled to make up some excuse, but nothing would come out of my mouth. All I could do was tremble. Why did you enter my chambers? What were you looking for? Answer me. My mouth wouldn't move properly. I couldn't make my voice come out. The timing of this ad, oh no. I think, cool, I want eyes like that. Same, oh my god. I'll wait a little bit for their ad, that sucks. It was like I wasn't even in my own body anymore. The wisps of air that were drawn into my lungs were expelled as hoarse gas. I was like, I don't remember that sound effect. My breaths were shallow and rapid. While we wait, Bunny, did you see that XQC clip of him reacting to that one guy that got ads? No. I don't know which one you're talking about. I was inhaling, but I wasn't getting any air. I was terrified. Terrified of his eyes, his voice, his feelings, the knife that he was holding up to me. The terrible past I was chained to, a man's voice, the man's very flesh, terrified me. What were you trying to find, and what were you planning to do with it? I saw Tyler when reacting to as. Answer me. Another thing you refuse to tell me then? No, I'm trying. Nothing's coming out of my mouth though. Everything's so bright, I can't catch my breath, I can't breathe. That's fine though, you don't have to tell me. I have a pretty good idea. An idea? What do you mean? Money is what brought you to the Bollinger estate, and it's what brought you to me too. There are countless people who would love to see that house fall, and a noble family fears nothing more than disrepute. You were, I presume, approached by someone scheming the Bollinger's downfall. No! And as it just so happens, the Bollingers have a very unfortunate secret, one they are quite desperate to keep under wraps. Yeah, that one. Me. Someone suspected I might still be alive, and so they sent you to dig up information about me. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. Does he have to do with the white-haired girl? The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Come on. Tell Street who had no explain though. Strange how you mistake the bean sprout with a 6'5" muscular giant. Michael, who made a pact with the devil, who was supposed to be dead but still very much alive. You sweet-talked your way into that house and into information about me and my present situation. You meant to trade that information for money. But whoever it was put quite a handsome price on it too. Or maybe the one plotting to ruin the family is you. No, that's not true. Then enlighten me. Please hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Then tell me, if that's not the reason you wormed your way into the estate, then that's not what you're doing here, then tell me what it is. Tell me why you came to this mansion. Want me to tell you about that? There's no way, that's asking too much. Tell me. I swear I haven't done anything wrong to you. I simply want to make our life together a little more comfortable. To bring some warmth to this frigid relationship we have. She was sniffing. Get her, Michael. Tell us your sins, Giselle. That's the only reason I wanted to find out more about you. I must assume I'm right then, Giselle. I must tell him he's wrong. I must tell him me no harm, but I can't see anything. A merchant's daughter become an Abigail at a noble house? Could you come up with a more obvious lie? Your father is the one who wait. How is he not from a merchant family? You look perplexed. I may be in prison in this house, not free to move about as I please, but I have my ways. I know everything. He knows about that too. Oh, yes, I do. Please, don't. In your quest for money, don't say it. What, you became a witch? Oh. You slept with my father. In that moment, Michael plunged his knife into my heart. Carved through my chest with those words caused me to completely lose control of myself. In a panic frenzy, probably screaming all the way, I knocked the man aside and ran and ran and ran. Hear the clap of thunder in the distance. Oh, how I wish a bolt of lightning would come crashing down upon me. Maybe if God burned my tainted flesh with a divine thunderbolt, it would get rid of some of the filth. But the jagged streaks of light cascading across the dark clouds do not strike me, only creating restless grumbles in the sky. Why? I knew if I fled the mansion, I would likely cause some trouble for my mom and sister, but I was helpless to stop myself. All I could do was run from all that threatened me with no regard for the consequences. Before long, small droplets of rain began falling, which soon grew heavy enough to penetrate the forest canopy and reach the ground where I stood. The downpour drowned out my tears and my cries. So I had rushed from the mansion without ever even being put on a cloak. Each cold winter droplet stung bitterly against my flesh. The bite of the rain was like a warm embrace compared to what I'd been through before. Michael had spoken the truth. Much as I wanted to deny to avert my eyes, reality was forever engraved in this body. No, I don't want to think about it. I had no say in the matter. Get out of my head. Come over here, Giselle. Okay. May I ask you why you asked me here so late at night, Master? Oh, I just wanted to have a little chat. Care for some wine? Come closer, I'll pour you a glass. I had this wine imported from up north. They use very hard water, and I like it rather tart, so it leaves quite the lasting impression on your tongue. And yet it goes down so easy, you just can't seem to stop. What do you say? Have a sip. Or does your expertise as a trader allow you to evaluate a wine's quality without tasting it? And then no, but please, Giselle, don't trample all over my good graces. Very well then, I will have a sip, Master, but no more. Have you ever considered growing out your hair? Having long hair made it difficult to do my job. You're not a merchant anymore, though. You deserve to look like the woman you truly are. He's giving me George vibes. I have no doubt longer hair would accentuate your natural beauty. It's a gorgeous shade of black, so deep a man could get lost in it for years. It would contrast the color of your skin fabulously. Highlight your eyes, your cheekbones, your nape, your shoulders, and your chest. I should get going. Oh, we're not done talking yet. I would not want a lack of sleep to interfere with my ability to work tomorrow. Gosh, this is a reference. Thank you very much for the wine, it was delish. No need to be so cold-hearted now. From the moment I first laid eyes on you. Master, that's enough fooling around for one night. Now, don't be afraid. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. I simply want to express my love. Let go of me. I only came here to work, nothing more. First time I saw you, I thought it'd be a tragic waste to leave you to wither away working at some little street side shop. Stop! You can't tell me you didn't know a merchant girl had no place in a house like this, even as a servant. There's only one reason you'd be allowed here. No, I swear, it never even crossed my mind. Seem you're even more innocent than you look. But you figured it all out by now, haven't you? No, let go of me. Stop this. Keep your voice down. Eee. Do not shout, Giselle. If anyone were to find out about this, you would be the one shouldering the consequences, not me. But you're a maid, and I'm the master of the house. Whose word do you think holds more weight? Don't worry, I won't do anything to hurt you. I promise your family will be exceptionally well taken care of. Your mother will have the comfortable life you wanted for her, but you know what will happen if you raise a fuss and make a fool of yourself. Not only will your family not get any of our money, and not only will your sister not get to marry, you'll spend the rest of your lives on the street. How could you be so cruel? This is blackmail. Blackmail? For a merchant's daughter, you don't know much about trade, do you? Then let me give you a little lesson about market value. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap. Understand? And let me see that beautiful body of yours. He was an older man, so I hadn't expected him to be so very strong. But I couldn't break free of his grip, and I found myself entirely at his mercy. Beneath the gaudy outfits lay a hungry beast, and I was seeing the creature's true colors for the first time that day. The aging man ran his disgusting, slobbery tongue across my exposed skin. Everything he placed his hands upon withered away. Every piece of flesh he pressed his lips again putrefied, rotted, decayed, wrinkled. Trembled in revulsion, at which the man laughed, seemingly interpreting it as something else. I wonder what kind of place hell was. If hell's wardens only flayed and carved their prisoners, I would have preferred that instead. I'd rather have been sliced into tiny little chunks and cast into the hellfire. I would have chosen eternal torment over being touched by this man another second. But I didn't get to choose my hell. Eventually, the man forced open the gates I had been holding fast, and spread his festering death inside me. Listen to me, Giselle. It's in both our best interest to keep this between the two of us. If you can't do that, I'll continue. If you can do that, I'll continue to do good by you and your family. Oh, don't look at me like that, please. I'm thrilled to have you here in this house, Giselle. She has long lost her mind, after all. It's torture just being in the same room. And my sons, they hardly ever come home. But you, Giselle, you give color to my dull life. You make it exciting once again. Now go back to your room. I'll be waiting here at the same time next week. This is the bad. All cheating's bad, Strange. I couldn't escape from that man's grasp. Not when he used my family against me. Some weeks I would just not go to his chambers, my one feeble means of resistance. When I did that, he would send another Abigail to come find me the next day. When I did, I couldn't ignore his summons when he got other people involved. And then when two of us were alone, the mask would come off. This guy so gross, yeah. He would discipline me for not showing up before and taking care of his usual business. On good days, he would leave bruises in inconspicuous places, my abdomen, my inner thighs. But he went as far as carving a word into my skin with a knife. Harlot. Oh my god. That's why I was so afraid of knives. That's why I was afraid of men shouting. I wasn't even sure what to regret anymore. It was in far too deep. There is no turning back the clock. I even considered taking my own life on more than one occasion. But every time the thought crossed my mind, happy memories came with it. Back when it was just the three of us girls in the shop. Life may not have been easy, but it was never dull either. I didn't want to end my life at its absolute lowest point. I wanted, if just temporarily, to go back to the way things were back then. That objective was the only thing that allowed me to keep going. When I was in his presence, I tried to convince myself I was merely an object. I had no emotions, so he couldn't hurt me. I was merely a vessel, a construct of flesh and bones. His hands couldn't reach my heart. secret was not connected to my body. Doing that made it a little easier to bear, but the reality was, it was impossible to completely sever my heart from my body. You're Giselle, aren't you? One day, the mistress of the estate stopped me in the halls. She had supposedly once been quite beautiful, but now she was only haggard and bony. Her skin dry, her eyes sunken, her hair faded and stripped of its luster, her head down, her cracked lips barely moving as she spoke. Age didn't appear to be the only thing working its merciless magic on her either. There seemed to be something eating away at her from the inside too, something that could burst at the lightest touch. Yes, I'm Giselle. Is there something I can do for you? The mistress rarely ever left her chambers. I'd been told it'd been years since she attended family supper. So what would bring her to come looking for someone like me? Didn't you... What? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. You're having relations with my husband, aren't you? You are, aren't you, madam? You wretched creature. She was telling me the truth. One of the trusty maids caught a glimpse of you through the crack of the door. She saw you with him, you filthy rat. You seduced my husband. Oh, you devil, you conniving witch. You don't get it, do you? You don't realize how grievous your sin is, do you? Anyone restrain this girl. She's a demon, a devil. Tie her up and hand her over to the clergy. No, that won't be enough. A witch, you have to burn her bones, scatter the ashes, or she'll come back to life. Yes, execute her. Kill this woman. Burn the witch. Seize the piece she's stolen from me. Cursed, it's cursed. Oh, this house is cursed. Not only does it take away my daughter, now it's trying to take away my husband. Oh God, please shine thy cleansing light upon this house. I bet the white-haired girl is the daughter. Or whoever was in the painting. I knew it was a waste of breath to try to talk to her. She was not of sound mind. There was madness in her eyes. I didn't even have to make a fuss about it. It happened all on its own. There's no way around it, and I should have just done it myself after the first time. I didn't have the energy to argue with her, to cry or to shout. Before long, a crowd began to form around me and the sobbing mistress, and in it stood him. He seemed he would just stand back and watch, but to my surprise he stepped in, with an embarrassed look on his face, and tried to settle his wife down and convince her not to have me executed. Maybe he did have a heart after all, or maybe he just wanted to save face. Regardless, instead of being burned at the stake, his decided I'd be sent away to some remote forest. One of the previous Bollinger family heads had purchased a mansion there long ago, but it had been abandoned because of the stories people told about it. They said a cursed witch dwelled within the house. She had returned to life after being executed, and now skulked about in the darkness. It was a perfect place to banish a sinner. And so, accused of adultery, I was on a carriage on my way out of the capital the next day. I hope my mom and sister are alright. Two of them will believe in me, even if no one else does. The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Just a silent coachman and his single-celled passenger. Looking out the window, I could see the city walls slowly falling into the distance behind us. I doubted I would ever set foot in this land again. Ever cross the Grand Point again. It was a saddening reality, but at the same time I felt a surge of relief. I'd finally escaped from that house. I'd finally escaped from that man. The sense of freedom slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. A good while after we left the capital, a coachman handed me a letter. On the sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. There's someone else already living at the house where I was to reside, the Bollinger's youngest child. The letter didn't say why he'd been sent to the cursed mansion, only that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request, that I look after him and not ask any questions. So I'm just being sent off to the middle of nowhere. I still have work to do. I look after whoever is at the mansion. then they'll do the same for my family. I don't have much to say in that matter, I suppose. The carriage rattled and shook as it traversed the stony path, and the bouncing around inside it. I resolved to take back my life, the peace I'd once known, the cheerfulness I'd lost. To do so I'd forget, let go of my memories, bury every terrible thing that happened to me, cast aside those memories, and find my smile once more. I have no idea who I'm going to find there. They couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. I'll greet them with a smile, and do my best to build up a decent relationship with them. She's so naive. So I figured, since both of us had been banished to the same cursed mansion, there'd probably be other things we had in common, and so I'd forget it all and get my life back, and get my smile back. And that was everything that led up to me arriving at the mansion. All the wounds I never wanted to open again. I don't want to think about that. I've been trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it, so why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe that we can make things work. Why? How could you? God, I just can't take it anymore. Once the memories had broken free, they all flooded back with perfect clarity. Exactly how he ran his hands across me. Exactly where he hit me, where he cut me. Like I was going through it again, in this very moment. The rain was cooling me down on the outside, but so much nauseating heat had built up in my gut. I was vomited all over the ground. I threw up, and I threw up, and I threw up until there's nothing left but bile. And when nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees, I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurry because of the rain, but because my eyes had decided they were done looking at anything. The whole world twisted before me. Is he gonna come and save her? Oh, Michael's no different. My attempts to get close to him, to always keep a smile on, it was all a waste. The look in his eyes was terrifying. He didn't believe in anything at all. So he probably wouldn't have believed me if I had told him the truth. If he's convinced I have an ulterior motive, there's probably no changing his mind. Such a cold rain. If I lie down here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body, then I'll decompose and become part of the earth. You know, that might actually be nice. I'd like that. I'd always thought I didn't want to die, that I wanted to go back to the way things were, but who cares anymore? I did my best after all, and that still got me nowhere. Cheerful Giselle, it was all just a farce. And when I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and sister will fade away with me. Oh God, I doubt you have a place for me on high. I am, after all, an unclean woman, given up on living altogether. But even if I can't get into heaven, that's okay. I just want release. The rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. The cold spread throughout my flesh, into my bones, my heart and lungs and stomach, freezing me like a block of ice. My consciousness drifted away from me, and the world slipped through my fingers. More than fear, I felt relief. Utter black, and that, I was sure, was the end of me. I am now putting her through a harrowing experience, digging up the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened, laying it all out before her once more. I must get her back to who she once was, even if it means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything, because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? What secrets does this house hold? You're Michael. Yes, my name is Michael. I'm not the white-haired girl. Person you were searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply, me. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her, or why I'm here? Or perhaps why I didn't show up until now? Not having an answer for her, I clenched her cold hands in mine. I wonder, were her hands this cold that night too? There's still more we need to see though. There's still too soon for me to apologize. When she's gotten everything back, only then can I. Once she's reclaimed herself, that's when I must tell her. Now let's return to our past. Our story has only just begun. No matter what we thought or what we desired, no matter what we lost or how much pain we suffered, we must not shut this door. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I can see nothing, not even the woman beside me. But I shall not let go of her hand. I do not want her to slip away from me. I don't want to lose her. I think I'm gonna pause here. I'm just getting super drowsy. I don't know why. Yeah, that was depressing. Yeah, sorry, I just got like really sleepy out of nowhere. Oh, sorry, stretching. It was a super fun stream today. I thank you guys all for being here, sticking around. It was super fun to chat with you all today. But I am going to go take a rest. But I will see you guys next time. So take care. Have a good day. And thanks again for being here. Bye bye. Hello. Sorry. Hello. Meow. How's everyone? Oh, I have my acid reflux like always. How's everyone today? Hope that you're doing good. I'm doing alright. Sorry I wasn't live the last 2 days. I was busy and then I was anxious, so. But I'm doing better than I was yesterday. Let me open up the game. Where is it? There it is. Hi, I was about to call you Bunny because I was reading it. Hi, Jeremy. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I need to ask, what did you mean by fate? Someone just told me to play Fate, so I added it to the suggestion list. So I think it's a visual. I think it's just a visual novel, I think. I'll have to ask for details. So Fate Stay Night? I guess so. G Fata. Hi Anya, how are you? Oh no, my subscription ended. Oh no. That was my first visual novel. Oh wow, I didn't know that. It's cool. Nice. Yeah, I know. I also played Amori. Yeah, I've heard so much about Amori. I think we're gonna play that and then Fate and then Clanad. Seems like our plans. Ugh. Ivy, stay with me. Clanans is the one I never experienced. Oh, nice. Are you alright? Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? What? You had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm really glad you're alive. Okay, talk to you later. I plan to finish this someday. Oh, okay. I'll see you later then, Jeremy. Where am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? You feeling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. Oh, I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick, like there's something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please have something. I've got some milk on the fire. I bet you can handle a cup of that. If you start losing all hope once, the cold gets deep in you, reaches down to your core. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You'll feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted with the steam from the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was a kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh come from the man behind me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. Felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times, I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Thank you for everything. Sure you're in any shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You look pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now, and you're talking more clearly than before. You've been very generous, despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You are now alive because God's guidance made it so. God came across you early this morning as I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. You're not going to demand that I talk? I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you'd been to hell and back. What? I could tell just looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient. We all help each other out. No taxonomy lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say? Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult, but I don't have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes. I would like to stay here. That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself, have I? The name's Amity. Just one lowly villager of many. I'm Giselle. Giselle, that's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home. I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself. That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village representative, more or less. Representative? Like the chief? Only a name, though. As I mentioned, we're not in any lord's map, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It's a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. OMG, is this the blonde-haired boy? No, I think that was a different time, but still. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that, haha. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained. Then, you believe in God? That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important you keep sight of who you are, right? Now you get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village. Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything. Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore. Okay. So he's Amadi. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I had once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet, and in order to do that I had to cast aside my past once more, forget everything that happened to the Bollinger estate and everything that happened at the mansion, forget about Michael. There was one niggling curiosity, though I couldn't shake, something he had said before I left. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed young son of the Bollinger family, Michael, who made a pact with the devil, who is supposed to be dead but is very much alive. What did he meant by that? Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about him one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. The house was, as it always had been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My seeker was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest, and any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. But the look on her face then. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Is that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming though. She looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I just I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. Couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering, the archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far to reach. So for whatever it was worth to escape from his gaze, I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window. Whoa, it's someone new. Hey, where are you from? You gonna be here long? Are ya? We hardly ever get visitors here, so they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little, but please don't let it get to you. No, that's just fine. Do my best to get along with everyone. Haha, got a spark in you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up? In particular, once I decided I was gonna stay here, I just sort of started feeling better about things. And I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever. I see. Glad to hear it. Hee. And it's all thanks to you, Amity. Keep thanking me like that, my cheeks might get stuck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday, so how about we do that? Lead the way. That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone. For that size, looks pretty big to me. Amity taking the lead, we walk through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared amongst the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking more like ruins than residents. Once upon a time, this was a city rather than a village. When your ancestors lived here? Oh no, we were drifters fortunate enough to come across some decent looking land, so we stuck around. How do you know what it was like before then? There are a few stone tablets left behind, based on what we were able to extract from their texts. This area used to be a large city with a booming economy rivaling that of the capital. There weren't hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants came from afar in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People of all different races speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight and sound. I had no idea there was a city here. It's what happens when a place is wiped from history. Couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are, but if you take them at their word, the city lost everything in just a single week. What? People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague, I can't say for sure. This is what the tablet said though. We've been cursed by the witch. That was creepy. Cursed by the witch. Look over there, you see that river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it, but there's hardly anything left of it. If you continue along the path beyond the fallen bridge, there's a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper parts of the forest are so dense you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it through that, there's a mansion which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed this city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years, and she casts her curse on anyone who goes near it. The city was so large that the mansion was actually in its borders. My guess was that the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. And as you can see, the bridge is gone and the house is still standing there practically in ruins. But the mansion alone looks just as it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the records, someone by that same name was executed in this area for witchcraft, and even in death she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it is true though? Truth or fiction, the story has taken root in this region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. No, I'm fine. You're best staying away from the mansion in the forest at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is a peaceful village as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering there. I know all about the mansion who lives there. I was there after all, with Michael, for a full month. But I don't remember any cursed witch, just a man with a bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about a witch living there were spread by him. Perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that. But none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The witches curse Michael. They're nothing to me. With nowhere else to go, I ended up in this small village. There is no denying that there is very little to speak of here, but I found peace in that nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me into his village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered among themselves. Coming from a merchant's family, everything felt so new. I had never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time I grew more comfortable with my new life, and then the people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. Hi Golden Sorcerer, how are you? Come on Giselle, come play with us. We're playing hide and seek today. Can, I'm sorry, I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later. Come on, play with us. Stop! Don't pull on my skirt. Oh, alright, you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching, we'll be at the square, okay? Got it, see you there. Haha, the kids have taken quite a liking to you. Ah, Amity. You think so? I'm doing well, thank you. Hope you are too. Yeah, I'm doing better, thank you. Yeah, sorry you guys, I was absent the past few days. I was really busy one day, and then the next day I was just very anxious. But I'm feeling much better than yesterday. They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults. Sensitive? They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on that quickly. You like children, and that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children. Why, thank you. Oh, that's good. I hope it all gets better. Oh, thank you. Just one of those days, you know. I don't think it's so much that I like them. It's as if I'm kind of a big kid myself. I genuinely enjoy hide and seek. That's not gonna earn me any points. I like kids too. Watching them, it gives me faith that this world has a bright future. A bright future. I'd never looked at them that way. They seem to like you quite a bit too, Amity. Haha, thanks. Though I'd rather give my affection to my own kids. Oh, you have children? Oh, heavens no, I thought that was obvious enough. I'm talking about the future. Ah, I see. But knowing you, Amity, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids of your own in no time. It's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who'd take interest in me. You don't give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough. Do you really think so? Absolutely. Then perhaps you could be that person. What, pardon? I won't pressure you into it, of course, but I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way. But it's a little too soon for me to think about settling down like that. It is pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it. Alright. I have to go play with the kids now. Have fun. I wonder if he really meant it. Amity is a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful, but I can't help feeling something isn't right here. Uh-oh. Why am I thinking about him now of all times? The man has no redeemable qualities, not one. As it turned out, Amadi was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon winter started giving way to spring. On a day the air had still had a brisk winter bite and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth, the seams holding the village together began to come loose. Oh dear. That day the villagemen were gathered in the square talking. They all had stern looks on their faces. It was clear something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited in the room down and caught Amadi. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else. Actually, with a dejected look on his face, he started explaining. A lord found out about this village. What? He said he's going to place this land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years' worth of back taxes for our unauthorized use of the land. What? That's ridiculous. Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years' taxes. There's no reason for him to take over this village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area after all. But if we resist, he could send soldiers. It doesn't matter how absurd his claim to the village is. We have no choice but to comply. That's terrible. What are we gonna do then? We're gonna do as Lord demands. 5 years' taxes will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggested we abandon the land and find somewhere else. But it would take time to cultivate land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. We'll use more of the land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help in the fields? Of course. Village is my home now too. Thank you, Giselle. It will be difficult, but if we all pitch in, I'm sure we can get through this. I thought the same thing. If we all work together, we can make it through this rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just the burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village too. Your family has more hands to work in the fields. I have a sickly child. You expect him to work any harder than he is? I know you're hiding grain in your cellar. You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain. You have more. No, you have more. You both have more than us. When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the villagers' top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary. Before long, everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill, and it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider. Come on, get moving. Ow, stop that. Why are you doing this? I'll stop once you've told us everything. Told you what? One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What? What's this all about? Oh, don't play stupid. We know it was all you. What was me? The thief. Amity? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well, the ever-affable village representative, the man who had saved my life, but in his eyes now, I thought you were better than that, was contempt, anger, and scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw in his glare immediately as someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening. So I just stood there stupefied. There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. The village is too small to attract bandits, though. Since the lords now demand to pay him taxes, even the smallest item loss can have dramatic impact on a family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke. Wait just a second, I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think You've been seen in the act. What? So long as there is testimony against you, your guilt is assured. Who says they saw me? I swear I didn't do anything. They're obviously lying. You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools this whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found until you showed up. No, that's not my fault. Giselle, Apologize to the village and return what you've taken. Amity, don't you believe me? There were multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. Known these people long enough to be family. I trust them like family. They're not liars. But no, they're framing me. I didn't steal anything, I swear. Framing you? Now you want to put this on us, woman? Unbelievable. Have you gotten we welcomed you into this village? Amity, please believe me. You of all people should believe me. Been avoiding me of late, haven't you? What? Because you had something to hide, correct? No, why? What other reason could you have to avoid me? Why? How could he say these things? It's peanut butter bunny time. Hello, Strange. How are you? Why won't he believe me? Hello, doing good. It's too hot. It is hot out, huh? Now return the things you've stolen. I can't. I never stole anything. How am I supposed to return something I don't have? I see, so you've already moved the stolen goods. She said she doesn't have them anymore, folks. How should we deal with this? Rough her up till she talks. Yeah, she's not getting off that easy. Give us back our property. Why is this happening to me? The harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village quick. Restrain her. No, get your hands off me. Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have to suffer, is that it? I didn't do anything. Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything. No, stop. You've all gone mad. Please come to your senses. With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged into Amity's house. He sat coolly in a chair and they shoved me to my knees before him. I'll ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where'd you put the things you stole? And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me. Do you swear with God as your witness? I do, I swear with all my heart. You don't actually believe her, do you, Amity? She not only sold us out to a lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible. Again, that's just a coincidence. Listen to me, Amity. Thus saith the lords of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, she has betrayed her fellow man. Why are you doing this, Amity? You were such a good man. I am deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you. Amity? Of course, why didn't I see it? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's word over the word of the village, his family? The water. What? A man set a wooden well bucket on the floor in front of me. Wasn't clean water from the well though, but grimy, murky wastewater. I reflexively turned my head from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. Before I had a chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown. I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tied by my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Reflexively grasping for air, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth. Pull her out. I know, this is so sad. We get nothing if she dies. Put her back in. Keep at it until she decides she's ready to talk. No. How unsightly. To think I even considered marrying this woman. Stop! You can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth. Please. Help. Stop. Was given no time to rest. My head shoved into the bucket, then pulled out just long enough for me to steal a breath before going back in over and over again. Not a person in the room objected to the abuse I was receiving. Prayed for a good harvest with these people. They taught me how to use a loom, something I never touched before. We had laughed together, lived together. They were normal people, perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people, not at all cruel or inhumane. But now they burned with a frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them, and every gargle, gasp, and grunt they got from me fueled that fire. Thousands of eyes laced with madness stared down upon me, rejoicing at my suffering. My consciousness was slipping away from me. Thought I could hear laughing and chattering, but it all passed through my ears as mere noise, nothing I could make sense of. Stay with me. Minty. Oh, thank goodness you're awake. Wait, what was I just doing? Oh, right, I was on the forest on the verge of death, and Amity found me, and we almost lost valuable manpower there. We were just discussing what to do to you, Giselle, and we decided to make you village property. No, he didn't save me. If you agree to work for us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible with the loom, but there's plenty you can help with. What are you gonna make me do? You like to get your hands dirty. Considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner. Amity. Seems we've come to an agreement. I'll keep watch over her starting today, to make sure she stays in line and doesn't steal anything else. Dirty, stays in line, the way they're looking at me. They didn't have to spell it out. No, anything but that. Please have mercy. If you're begging for mercy, that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see, there is one way, Giselle. What? Give back what you stole naturally, but if you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us of something of equal value. And if you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village. The men were cackling. They knew I couldn't do it, and they were enjoying watching me squirm. Take your pick, Giselle. Something of equal value. If I can get that, then you'll set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear. If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town. I think I know where you can get something worth money. The mansion in the forest has some valuable furniture in it. Oh god, what did I become? You can steal some of that and sell for good money. Such a despicable woman. You mean the cursed mansion? You expect us to go there? Are you out of your mind? Anyone goes near that house is killed by the witch's curse. There is no witch living there. There is no curse. So what do you know about the mansion? I lived there for a while. Well, for a month. You what? Son of a noble lives there. He's human, he's alone. A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city? I presume he was banished there. Sent to the mansion from the capital to act as a servant. There's plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. Should be more than enough to pay for the lord's 5 years' worth of taxes. Is what you're saying true? I would not lie. As bewilderment spread through Amity's house, I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I had sold out Michael. You swear there's just a single man living in that house? Yes, it's only him. Alright. Turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Okay, everyone, you heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to the mansion in the forest, and just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, you're coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me. Don't think about trying to run, right? On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dreary forest I had thought I would never set foot in again. How had I ended up here? How come I could never manage getting myself manage to avoid getting myself in these situations. Grads, I need to resubscribe. So true. And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be to loot it? I prayed for God to show even a little mercy and ensure that Michael wasn't around. Though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon it. Despite on the surface there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them courage to approach this place they wouldn't normally otherwise. Door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It seems someone really does live in this cursed place. I am honestly surprised, even more so that it's not a witch but just a noble. The door's old, we could break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down. Hold on, there's no need to be barbaric. Do you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? You sound like a band of thieves. Huh, that's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan, Giselle? You. Alright, men, you ready for lives of luxury? Break down that door. Stop it. It's the damn nobles who make our lives so hard. They deserve to be robbed. Break it down. Please stop it. Break it down, break it down, break it down. Stop. All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered the door again and again, and in a few minutes' time it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen. Oops. As my peaceful life came crumbling down around me, going lightheaded from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when the deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest. It would seem you're not aware whose house you're trying to break into. The world went silent, like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stared at the man who had appeared from within the mansion. Surely you knew what this place is called. Beneath the dazzling midday sun, he had bone-chillingly alabaster skin and long, nearly translucent pale hair. So surely he came prepared for whatever he would find, and his eyes were like two blazing infernos staring out across the mob. A demon, someone muttered, probably unconsciously. You did indeed look as something out of this world. Ah, it's a demon. The rumors about this place were true. The cursed demon lives there. Demon him, Michael? No, he's not cursed. Indeed, I am cursed. The witch's curse is real. I have inherited it in its entirety, as well as her purpose. A witch, a demon, a spirit impure. Call me whatever you wish, for the truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows beneath the skin, as it does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of any color. Offered up to the devil as part of our pact. Behold these crimson eyes, the symbol of the lifeblood spilt at my hands. Ah! I shall bring calamity upon you as the witch of legend. Never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations, till the moment of your death, so you shall regret ever coming near this place. No, no, have mercy! It was that woman. She brought us here, tempted us with promises of wealth, deceived us, told us to pillage this house. We're innocent. Amity, please have mercy on us. Give her to me then, as an offering. Absolutely, she's yours. Torture her however you please. I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. If you so much as consider it, you will all die by my curse. I swear we won't return. Run, get out of here. Without so much as a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amity, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in the world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore. Don't think I'm helping you. His voice rained down on me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was such a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what questions I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about. What I should be sad about. Not even the first clue. Look at me. Look at me, Giselle. Tell me, is it true you returned the mansion to plunder it? That you brought those men here and robbed me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle. Yes, it's true. Persuaded them to steal from you. Are you really so desperate for money that you resorted to looting? Just how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging around for information about me, you brought the mob to this house. They were armed too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle. Not even going to defend yourself? Your scheme failed, so you're retreating into silence? Oh, for God's sake, you sicken me. I'm done with you. I'm done. Leave this place, and you never show your face here again. As he shouted at me, I stared into his fierce red eyes. Somewhat inappropriate thought crossed my mind. Give her to me, yes please. Hello, beautiful bunny. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Thank you, Cappy. I hope you're doing well, too. Oh, so we can't get emotional like anyone else. My heart stripped raw and cast out into the sea, finally sunk deep enough to be crushed by the pressure. Me. What? If you want me gone, then kill me. You can do that, can you? You can use your kills to kill me, can't you? You can do it right here. Use your power. Take my life. And if you don't want to do that, stab me with your knife. Kill me, kill me, kill me. What? I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares one bit about how I feel. They'd all just walk over me laughing. Why? Tell me why. Why is this happening to me? I never stole anything. What are you talking about? I tried my best to look happy. I thought that everything would work out if I kept smiling. I believed that would make things better, but nothing ever got better. Whatever did I do? Tell me, what did I do? But you... All I ever did was believe. I tried my best to survive, to always wear a smile, but if everything's gonna be my fault, if I have to deal with that for the rest of my life, then I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore. Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought that mob, and before that you used my father. You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You'll take your family's word over mine. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together. What? I never wanted riches. All I wanted was a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted, but that man, he used my family against me. He made me. Forced me to. He R-worded me. What? Again and again, no matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop. Again and again, he threatened me, beat me, cut me with a knife. Over and over and over again. What? My father? R-worded you? No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You don't believe me either, do you? So I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me. Please set me free. Kill me already. Kill me. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me! Ah! Give me a moment. I need time to process this. You can do it, can't you? Then kill me already. Kill me now. Kill me now. Kill me, damn it. Give me time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything from the beginning. Inside. Let's go inside and talk. The light hurts my eyes. That was a door I may have best let stay shut. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust, hearing about the crimes in my own family. But if I hadn't opened that door, I would have lost everything that day after far too long. Finally let myself see the person in Giselle. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her, I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I did know I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make sense of them, and from there, calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were to have, as unpleasant as I was sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later. You better open your ears now, Dum-Dum Michael. Giselle's sobbing drew to a stop, and oppressive silence stepping in to take its place. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but I didn't know how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face-to-face discussion with someone about the things we were thinking and feeling. That didn't change anything. I had to do it, even if down the road lay truths I would be happier not seeing. Giselle, could you please tell me what was done to you at my father's home, and how you ended up coming to the mansion, and what happened after you left? I would like to know everything from start to finish. Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family with the people of the village? I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision. I suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie. Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me about how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an abigail to earn money for her family. Of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her, of the things he did to her. She spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event, one after the other. I had already seen how she felt deep down, though. I had heard her pain screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Perhaps my own experiences would have allowed me to see it. Regardless, I realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically and remained detached from what had happened to her, to protect herself. That I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do? When I learned my father was our word, how was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean? Of the wounds he gave me? I have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you. No, that won't be necessary. I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now. I hadn't turned off her offer for her sake. I only did so because I don't think I could take it anymore. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken my mother's word? Brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done, I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind. So why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been able to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all my own character. Consumed with distrust for everything, I had to face it now. To open my eyes once more, to look at everything I had pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering after all. Please continue, if you will. I left off at the point where the mistress discovered what was happening, I believe. I was sent to the mansion to atone for my sins that she didn't even commit. decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. First, I assumed it would essentially be a private prison. But in the carriage on the way here, I was given a letter. A letter from whom? Didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I would guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explaining there was someone already there. The Bollinger's youngest child. It didn't go into any more detail than that, but it did ask me to look after you. You still have the letter? I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It's just a harmless letter. It was anything but. What? It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead, so we'd have sincerely thought he was banishing me to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive. Then who? My brother, I believe. Either Didier or George's, but I would guess Didier. Your brother? Why would he? I do not know. I cannot imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me. I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. Makes it sound like he's concerned about you. Then why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to start being concerned. No, never mind that now. Please tell me the rest. Okay. She resumed her story from the day she left the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in the tone of her voice now. Perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face. She described the night in the rain, listening to the thunder when she gave up on living, and I knew I had caused it. She then told me the time she spent in a nearby village. However, at first life seemed wonderful, but in time it come crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. Once she was through with her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. I thought I could just hear a faint trembling in the air she exhaled. That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if that day when I found you in my room, you had told me I was mistaken, that the sins belonged to my father, it might not have turned out like this. The knife. What? You're holding a knife? I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scared me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand, I start thinking they're gonna use it on me. I can't help it. I start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. The world goes white. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do. Now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. The day the package arrived when you knocked my hand away. 'Cause I was scared. 'Cause it reminded me of that time. It seemed she had simply gently filled my guilty conscience. I felt nauseous, realizing I had been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. What a damn fool I was. Why did you get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me? I didn't want you snooping. If you had some information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you. I'm still not convinced it was necessary. He was unarmed. I couldn't fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures. They wound easily. Apologize. Apologize to me. I said apologize. I'm sorry. Again, put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it. I'm sorry. Again, once more, get down on your knees and shout it from your gut. I'm so very sorry. Is that a laugh? Jeez, you're such a strange man. Strange? You told me to do it. Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you'd just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did, you listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard. I looked distressed? Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. Faced up to the truth and you apologize. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead of letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much. This feeling was mutual, but for some reason I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt? I need to apologize to you too. Apologize for what? I let the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. Tried to sell you out to save myself, and for that I am truly sorry. I don't understand. Do I need to get out on my knees too? No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You're a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They plan to take advantage of you from the start. And Amadou was probably in on it as well, to get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target to let out their frustrations on would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You have nothing to apologize for. Still, I feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway. You're unexpectedly stubborn. But now that we've both apologized to each other, we can call everything square. Square? Square! We were both in the wrong, so we apologized and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes were not equal. What I'd done to her was so much worse. Furthermore, I am Anton's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? Are you willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all my family, everyone I had ever come in contact with. I can. Although you don't need forgiveness for being a son, being related to someone doesn't make you responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame me for that. You're curious. What? Curious about what? No, not that curious. You're a strange creature. I'm human, you know. Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded. Is it a medical emergency? That's quite the leap in logic. How you know? I was on my lows just a little bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I'd recover at all. I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol, but instead she was smiling. And even more unexpected was the fact that I felt so relieved to see it. I think I'm gonna save here.